Okay, so in this course we're gonna stick with this method of rounding. There's a lot of different ways to round, but this is what we're gonna stick with. You're gonna decide which digit you need to round to. Okay, so which digit you need to keep? That will be your last digit to keep. Usually the question will tell you. If the question doesn't tell you, then you can always say, okay, I'm gonna leave it to decimal place, because that's usually, right, what we end up with. Unless I say otherwise, okay? So you're gonna decide which digit you need to round, which means the last digit that you want to keep. Leave it the same if the next digit is less than 5. Okay? That's less.
Can I just say something, teacher?
Yeah.
We've experienced this rounding off thing at the registers at Tim Hortons,
Yes.
right?
Yes, exactly, right? Because now there's no more pennies, right? So if you end up with a 76, right? You can't get to 76 because there's no pennies, then you have to round it down to 75 cents, right? The same if you have like 78, you have to round it up to 80 because it's above the 7 cents. So it's a little bit different, but you still have to round up, right? With the pennies. That's a good example, Paul. Increase it by 1 if the next digit is equal or more. So if 5 or more. Okay?
So 5.
If it is 5, you still have to increase it. This is called rounding up. Okay? So let's look at an example. So if I have 3.456, okay, I want to round it to 2 decimal place. So that means I want to keep this my second decimal, right? Because that number after the 5 is a 6, so I have to round up. So I'm going to end up with 3.46. Are we okay with that? The same number, it's 3.452, and I want to round to the second decimal. It's going to be 3.45. Okay? So if the number that's after it is less than 5, so in this case it's a 2, then you leave it. If the number after it is 5 or greater, then you round up. Do we all get that? Okay. Now what happens if this number is a 9? So what happens if I have 496, and I want to round to the second decimal? So I want to round to this. That's right. So what happens is we call that cascading 9s, right? We call that, so we round up the 9. To round up the 9, you're going to get to 10, right? So that means this is going to be 3.50 because now you're adding the 1 to the 10. Okay? Still to 2 decimal place, but then I had to round this 9 to 10, so that becomes a 5.
So what if we had 3.5 and not 0 with that?
Then you're not rounding.
Then it's not 2 decimal place.
Right.
Right? You should include the 0 to indicate that it's a second decimal place.
Maybe to indicate that you've even rounded it to the second decimal, right? Is that what it's for?
Yeah. Okay? Now, 3.5 and 3.50 are exactly the same thing, right? They're equivalent to each other.
It's just
right?
for indicating 2 decimal places, right?
That's just to indicate, because the question is specifically saying to 2 decimal place, you must leave it to 2 decimal place, so you must include that. Okay? And then when you get to college, depending on what program you're going to, they'll start teaching you when and how you decide to know how many decimal places you have to leave it to, and then this is how to. They're called significant digits. they're called, not decimals anymore when you get to college. So significant digits, how many significant digits you have to leave it to, and how to count these significant digits. It will get
This
complicated
is
if you
that's the
actually.
next step of rounding is what you're telling us?
Yes,
For
but we
college.
won't learn that here.
But I'm going to college.
Yes, but not every program required, and the program that required it
Business
will teach it.
accounting?
No, mostly any type of engineering. Engineering, sometimes they also do teach that in any sciences, and like pharmaceutical and chemical engineering and all this kind of thing. Okay? Now, remember the placement, right? So this is the thousands. So ones, tens, hundred, thousands, right? Hundreds. Tens. And ones. Now this is, after the decimal, we're gonna go with tenths. So when the question says round to the nearest tenth, that means the first decimal place. Hundredths. And this is the, they don't usually say that, but thousand. But then the last one we might. There's a S. So let's look at the first example. We're going around to the nearest 10.
Nearest 10.
Yep.
30.
So if you're gonna, that's right, it's gonna be 30, right? Because the 10 is right here, right? So this is the number I wanna leave. After that 3, I have a 2. So that means I have to leave the 3 as is and then put zeros for the next. So that's gonna be 30, right? So 32.45 is close to 30 if I'm looking at the 10 digit, right? Do we all agree with that or no? If I have 35 and I wanna round it to the nearest 10, what would it be?
40.
40. It's closer to 40 than it is to 30. Okay? So this is what I want to round to, the nearest 10. So this is my 10th digit. I have to look after it. After it is a 2. 2 is less than 5, so I keep it as is and make everything else.
And if it says like to the nearest ones, it will become 32, right?
That's right. Because that's a 4. So where's my 10 0? The 2. So after the 2 I have a 7. So what do I have to do with the 2?
130.
130. So round it up. Okay? So 127 is closer to 130 than it is to 120. Are we okay with this? Round to the nearest tenth.
14.2.
14.2. Because this is my 10th digit, so the 1. After the 1, I have a 7. So I have to round it up, so it's going to be 14.2. Tenth.
0.31.
Why 1?
Oh, right.
10.
Right.
So it's only to the 3, right? So I'm looking at the 3. After the 3, there is a 0, so I have to leave it as is.
Right.
Like always if it's 0, you have to leave it as it is.
It's because to the nearest 10th,
Yeah.
right? So my 10th digit is the 3.
Yeah.
After the 3 is a 0, right? So I just leave the 3 as it's round down, right?
I like this math. I understand it.
Okay, so round to the nearest hundredth. So where's my hundredth digit in this case?
2.
Looking after the 2,
3.13.
so that's gonna be 5, so then I have to round it up to 3.13.
My goal is to understand the Pythagorean theory, like I understand decimals. How about that?
How about the next one, 142.0998?
That's like the 142.100.
1.10. So you're looking at this, right? That you have to either round up or down. Because there's a 9 after it, I have to round up. So that's gonna become 142.10 because it's to the 100th, so I have to include 2 digits. Thousands?
6.
So I have to round to 6. Do I round it up or down? Up. Because there's a 5 after it. So that's 177, right? Which 9 do I have to round?
So the third one.
The third 9.
The last. And am I gonna round it up or down? Okay, so tell me what does it round to?
It's like 99.100. It's like 9.
Does it change the whole equation?
So look at this.
No.
It's gonna bump this up to 10, right?
Yes.
It's gonna bump this up to 10 because then if this is a 10, this is already a 9, it's gonna become a 10. So that's a 0 and that's a 1, right? I have to add the 1 to this. That's gonna bump this up to a 10. Bump this up to a 10.
Oh.
Bump this up to a 10. So 99.9995 will round up to
100.
point
That was a trick
0,
question.
0,
There, right?
0, because I have to leave it to the thousands. Thousands.